Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and we're here to talk about books and reading. I have really needed to catch up on a lot of the tag videos that I have been tagged in by many other people, and so this is a tag video today, and we are doing the philosophy of reading tag. This was an original tag created by Ledken, and I'll link his channel and his video down below. But I was tagged by Daniela at Uncommon Reader and Alan at Alan Reads, and I'll link both of their videos on this tag below as well. They had great responses. But the premise of this tag is, I'm gonna kind of look at my notes a little bit so I don't get it wrong, but Ledken created this tag, and it is for Wheel Turning Day, which is a Buddhist holiday to recognize Buddha's first sermon, where he proclaimed apparently the Four Noble Truths, which are the foundation of Buddhist philosophical thought. All of that is highly unfamiliar to me, but that was the inspiration for Ledken to create this tag. So that was kind of the origin today for this. And so he says that in keeping with the Four Noble Truths, the tag has 4 prompts, and they're meant to be open-ended, so you can be as brief as you want or as chatty as you want. So hopefully they'll kind of be thought-provoking and we can kind of see where it leads. There's no prompt to tag anyone in this, and I know I was tagged by a few other people, but I'm not going to tag anybody. I think a lot of people have already done this tag, but if you have not done this tag and you want to, consider yourselves tagged, and I'd love to watch your response as well. But let's get into the first prompt. The first prompt is, what is your own personal philosophy of reading? How do you think about reading? What does reading mean to you? How does your reading affect your non-reading life? I don't know that I really have a well-articulated personal philosophy of reading. It's something that I'm still kind of figuring out now that I've been able to return to reading for pleasure as an adult. And I think I'm often torn in how I want to read, between reading for pleasure and reading for knowledge and education. And so that kind of, it divides my reading, and I'm kind of constantly pulled in one direction or the other. So that has honestly kind of made it a little difficult for me to order my reading, because if I'm doing one, I always feel like I should be doing the other, and vice versa. So, and maybe I can kind of make a video just kind of talking about that in general, but essentially my goal is just to keep reading, to not stop. But reading is very important to me, and I think it's an important way to spend my time. I like spending my time that way. I much prefer to do that as opposed to doom scrolling, or, you know, I really don't watch all that much TV at all. I'm not up on the latest Netflix shows or anything like that. So yeah, I guess that's kind of, I don't really have a well-articulated philosophy of reading, other than I think you should do it, and I want to keep doing it. And I think people read for all kinds of different reasons, and they're all valid reasons. And my reasons for reading don't have to be your reasons for reading. That is very individual, and none is better than the other. There's no moral judgment when it comes to reading. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. Prompt number 2. When did you first come to think of yourself as a reader? For me, that was very, very early. I read from the time I was very young. I was reading before I got into kindergarten, and read throughout elementary school, middle school, high school. I was a voracious reader. I read many, many things. Really, when I was little, I think my parents got frustrated enough about me reading all the time because I couldn't even leave the house to get in the car to go to the grocery store around the corner without taking a book in the car with me. And so I was constantly reading, always had a book on me wherever we went. I took a book, and that enabled me to get through a lot of books at a young age. And my parents always read to me when I was young. That's something that I try to do with my son as well. And I hope he will consider himself a reader from a young age as well. So from very, very early, I considered myself a reader. And most of my friends did too. I don't know if that was because I was friends with them because they were also readers or just because that's how it was. But yeah, I felt like I was a reader and most of my friends were readers too. Prompt number 3. What are some goals or hopes you have for your reading life? Goals or hopes? The goal is just to keep reading. Certainly, like just to keep going. And okay, maybe a goal would be to more thoroughly define my philosophy of reading, maybe, since I didn't really have a good answer to that first prompt. Maybe that should be a goal so that I could better order my reading life. Maybe I do need to figure that out a little bit more. I've never really dedicated the time to figuring that out. Maybe that's kind of why I wanted to do this tag, sort of. But yeah, so maybe that's a goal, to better define where I want to go with my reading life. So that's one goal. The other goal is just to not stop, because life constantly gets in the way. That is the reason why I did not read much at all from through my high school years, or no, post high school, through my undergrad years, grad school years, and in the beginning of my career. All of that really killed my personal reading, and it took a huge effort to purposefully return to it. And so the goal is to not fall back into that. The goal is to not let life get in the way and to continue to make the time for my reading life, because it's important to me. And if it's important to me, then I'll make time for it. So that's really the main goal, at least for me. Prompt number 4. What is a part of your reading life currently that is important or exciting for you? For me, that is easily this channel and this booktube adventure that I started like a month and a half ago, I guess now. This has just been so much fun. This has been exciting. This has been a boon to my reading life. It has made it more exciting. Y'all have been so encouraging and kind and insightful, have given me so many wonderful recommendations, and have left thoughtful comments and suggestions. It has been wonderful. It has led me in so many great directions. I feel like I've made so many good, sweet connections with people on here, and that has just continued to bolster my desire to participate in this farther and continue to be active here, continue to make videos even when it feels like I might not have the time or things like that. But this has been so enjoyable, and I have loved stepping into this community in this fashion. So this is definitely part of my reading life that is very exciting for me right now. And it has led me in other directions in my actual reading that I might not have anticipated. So that's what I would say for that. And I'll just make this another encouragement to anybody who is considering starting to do this. Do it. do it. I procrastinated far too long in starting to do this. I thought about it for probably a year or more before I ever actually sat down to film something. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. It doesn't take much to do it, and work out the kinks as you go. That's what I'm doing. I'm still working out kinks right now. I'll probably adjust something after I see how this comes out. But, you know, that's the encouragement I would give each and every one of you. If you haven't started this yet and you have even thought once about it, do it. You won't regret it. So there are my answers to the philosophy of reading tag. My answers are sort of non-answers because I don't really have a well thought out philosophy, but if you do, let me know what yours is, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video as I kind of ascertain maybe what my reading philosophy really should be. So yeah, thank y'all for being here, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.